Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I am by Sierra Vista. I'm actually I guess this is in Sierra Vista, Arizona. And I thought I would do my 3,000 mile review on the Honda Trail 125. This is a 2023 model. The 2024s is the yellow, kind of a mustard color bike. But the reason I didn't get a 2024 was because I wanted this green. I didn't actually care for the yellow. I like the green, kind of outdoorsy, kind of woodsman. I don't know, but I just wanted the green color because of the look of the green. Actually, that box matches pretty good that I got from Harbor Freight. I put on there, but I'm not really making a video about the mods I've done to it. This is basic. I already done one of those, or a couple of them. I'm doing a video about the bike and 3,000 miles that I put on it, and what do I think of the bike. How does it run, handle, brakes, all that. 3,000 miles, I've kind of got it figured out. I've rode enough on-road, probably too much on-road for this bike. And I've rode a lot of off-road, probably too much off-road for this bike, for what it's meant for. Done a little of both on this bike, and I've done some upgrades for it too. But one thing about this bike is the downside, as some people would call it, is this bike is not fast at all. I mean, it's slow. They say 55 top speed. That's pushing it. You're talking more like 45 to 50. You're pushing it. I mean, this one, I've got it actually geared down with a 45-tooth rear sprocket, and 45 is pushing it. So it's not fast. It's not fast at all, and it's not got a lot of power. It's kind of gutless. It's not about power on this bike. It's just about, if you want something that's really fun, something you can commute around town, ride around the parks, ride around town, go off-roading, not too extreme off-road. You'll find your limits, as I did on this bike. But there's a lot you can do on this bike too. Now, as I mentioned in my video about don't waste your money on this bike, you don't plan on buying this bike if you're going to be riding with buddies. It's got fast bikes. It's just not the way it works. This bike is slow. You need to be riding with people that have bikes that are slow. But this bike is a lot of fun. I enjoy this thing. I mean, we're going to take off here and go on a little ride. I'll talk a little more, but I'm just kind of out here. Look at this little track out here. I think it's like an RC car track. Pretty cool. My son's brought his RC car up here and played on there. There's no signs here that says anything of what it is. Looks like a little motocross track, but I believe it's for RC cars. Let's take this thing, get on the bike, and go for a little ride, and we'll talk a little more. Okay, we'll get going here. You can see some of the stuff that I've done to this bike. I've added on this little bracket back here to hold this roto packs, which I don't know if I needed that much fuel, because this thing gets stupid mileage. I mean, like 125 mile a gallon or more. I don't know. I never really gauged it, but it's a lot. I put on this little tail pack back here. Got some Rigg luggage here. Rigg luggage here. Got a bottle holder, little box up here for my camera equipment, some crash bars, different things, passenger foot pegs and stuff. I'm trying to fix it up to where my wife can ride on here with me. If we take this thing in the back of the Gladiator on a camping trip and we need to run into town, I want it to where she can ride on here with me when we do that. I also added a gear position indicator, because it's kind of irritating on this thing not knowing what gear you're in, and because it don't go into first gear when you go all the way down. You start in neutral all the way down, so when you're shifting down, you'll shift down into neutral. On a normal bike, you wouldn't. You would shift down from second through neutral down to first. Well, this one you shift into neutral every time you pull up to a stop sign, so it's kind of irritating. With that, it kind of eliminates it. Works pretty good. So anyway, like I say, this bike is just a blast. It's not fast, not powerful. It's a lot of fun. As far as anything going wrong, there's not a thing went wrong with this bike. I've never had a minute's trouble. And I've got 3,160 miles on it, to be exact. I am here by a park. And around this town, I really still don't know my way around all the town much, but it's not me. I'm not a town person, but um, the little bike, I love it. It just does great. It's never been a problem. I'm gonna do my oil change here pretty soon. I already done my first oil change, 600 miles, but I think I done this one at 300. Look at the mountains, the sun shining on them. Beautiful day. It's gonna be like 90 degrees today or 92, but still a beautiful day. I've took this bike up on that mountain, up in them mountains several times now. It does good, but now this bike, uh, as far as my review, I for what it does and what it's made for, perfect. No complaints at all. It does great. But now, like I mentioned in my "Don't Waste Your Money" video, is the bike's not fast, and there is limits on the off-road. You can get out there on the off-road and you totally run your limits and to where you don't have enough power to even pull itself or do anything. I mean, you're just too extreme for this little bike. It's just the way it is. But I mean, as long as you're not the kind to want to go to extremes on paved or off-road, the little bike's great. I like the shifting of it, smooth handling. I can tell you one thing about this bike. On the gravel roads, riding the dirt gravel roads, for some reason, this is the best handling motorcycle I've ever had off-road. This little thing on the gravel, it is confidence inspiring because it just tracks like you wouldn't believe. And that's with the stock tires or with these Shinko 244s I have on here now. Either way, it's just, this thing tracks right down the road. It's just great on the gravel. It does a good job on the paved roads. I mean, you're not going fast, so kind of hard to get something to go crazy if you're not going over 45 miles an hour. But I rode this bike now 3,000 miles, and I have to say that I've had more fun on this bike than any bike I've ever had, as far as just having absolute laughter kind of fun. And I actually really enjoyed myself, me and my son Scott, riding these two little bikes. And this thing is just a blast to ride, no doubt. Um, the feel of this bike is great. The ergonomics are great. The seat is okay. A lot of people, I've seen some people complain about the seat. I don't have a problem with the seat, other than that bar back behind the seat, the rear rack can hit you on the tail end. But because I have this luggage back here, it actually keeps me from doing that. That don't happen. So when I first got it, it would, because I'm 6'2", 225, 30 pounds. So this little bike pulls me just fine. And you're not going to scream and demon or nothing, but as far as in town, it doesn't matter anyway. You have to worry about going fast. It's like when I ride this in town, I can actually keep up with people. You get out on a road that's, if you want to take this thing out on a road that's 65, 70 miles an hour, forget it. 75 mile an hour highway, forget it. You better not do it. It's too dangerous. You're going to get yourself run over or cause a wreck. It's just not fast enough for that kind of stuff. People be blown by you like you're sitting still. Even the 65 mile an hour roads around here is actually too much for this bike. People just come upon you too fast. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going. Just turning here, turning there, turning everywhere. But fixing to head back home, which is out in the country. Not here in town, that's for sure. I live about, I don't know, 8 miles or so out. I'm not going to say which direction. So I'm actually riding this bike more right now. If you notice, most of my videos are on this bike and not on the CRF 300L. It's because of my CRF 300L, I actually have a fork seal bad, and I don't want to ride with the fork seal bad. I've got the parts ordered, and then I'll get it fixed as the fork seal comes in. But for now, I'm just not riding the 300L till the parts come in. I get it fixed. So riding, that's a good thing about having this bike for backup. It's a lot of fun. I want to do more riding on the 300L too, of course, but right now I'm just not going to take a chance and running it. Especially, I don't want to run it dry on fork oil. You can run it with a little leak, but you don't want to run it till it's dry. So anyway, that's why I'm out here today, and I'm riding this bike, and I'm doing my 3,000 mile review. Like I say, everything about the bike, I like the speedometer, I like the ergonomics of it, I like the seating, the foot pegs are good. I mean, the brakes are decent. They're not powerful brakes, but being such a small, lightweight bike, you don't need real powerful brakes. And this does have ABS on the front. So to have all that, and also this thing is electric start, it has a kick start, it's fuel injected. I mean, it's pretty modern for a bike when, you know, they made these as the Trail 90 and the Trail 110, and this is in the most cases, it's an upgrade from those bikes. The difference in those bikes is they had the high and low range, which Honda should have put in this one to complete the package, because it's the biggest thing about this thing is not having that low range when you go off-road. But it is what it is. They didn't do it, so it's a 125. It's not big horsepower. It does get a stupid good gas mileage. No outlet this way. I don't know. Guess we'll go down here and turn around. But yeah, it's a great little bike. I'm really impressed with it. I think it's going to last me a long time. And like I say, the price of it, they're cheap. They're not very expensive. So if you're wanting to get into something inexpensive just to have fun, you're not wanting to go on the big highways, you're not wanting to go fast with your buddies, and they're riding Harleys and Gold Wings and, you know, crotch rockets. If your buddies ain't riding big dual sports, that they're going off-road and fast riding dirt bikes, then this bike will be great for you, because you don't want to do any of that stuff. This thing won't do it. Not with those guys. They'll be waiting for you at all time if you do that. At every intersection, they'll be waiting for you. But anyway, there you guys go. This is my 3,000 mile review. I think the bike's great. There's nothing really bad to report other than it's slow and it's gutless power, but that's what I expected. I knew what I was getting into. That is the bike that I bought, and I knew it, so I'm perfectly happy with it. Thank you all for watching Woodsman Adventures. Click the thumbs up, subscribe down below, and we'll catch you all in the next adventure. Ride on.